Well, hello friends. This is Bruce Conn welcoming you into the inner workings of the Museum of Comparative Zoology here at Harvard University, where I've been working for some time. And the specific thing that I do is I work with collections of tapeworms and other kinds of parasitic worms that affect humans and animals around the world. We've been collecting these here for well over 100 years, over 150 years actually. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we do that by introducing you to a particular collection. So as I walk back here into the collection, you can see all of these vials. All of these vials are filled with tapeworms. Tapeworms that have, in this case, infected humans. And specifically, these are tapeworms that infected not people from various other parts of the world, but from right here in Boston. In fact, one of the most upscale areas of Boston, the area called Beacon Hill, right in downtown Boston, is the source of these. But these were collected way back in the 1880s by a physician, J.B. Cherry, who left these to Harvard University, and we've maintained them since then. You can see the worms in here. All of these worms came from individual human patients that were identified by Dr. Cherry, and they were all from that Beacon Hill region in the 1880s. So why do we want to know this now? Well, it's very interesting that in today's Boston, you would not find this type of tapeworm. This type of tapeworm can only be acquired by people eating infected cattle and then returning the eggs from their bowel back into the pasture where they would contaminate and infect the cattle again. So you've got this back and forth parasitism between the cattle and the people. The worms themselves are amazing. They can grow up to 25 feet long, a single worm 25 feet long in your intestine, passing out millions of eggs every day to contaminate the environment. And yet, while this is not an important parasite or disease-causing agent in any of the United States today, and certainly not in downtown Boston, it is still a major problem to people around the world in different types of areas where they still have living conditions that allow the passage of these back and forth between humans and cattle. By having them here, though, what's the point of having them here at Harvard University? Well, we can now bring the most modern, advanced techniques of science to bear on things that were collected 150 years ago, like these. So we can now take these same worms that have been well cared for by the staff at Harvard University for more than a century, and we can now apply them to things that were not available back then, to understand them even more. We now have electron microscopes. We now have molecular techniques where we can actually isolate and sequence the DNA and determine many things about these that we could not have done before. So check back later, get out there, enjoy nature, appreciate your health, but I'll be back to tell you more about how we use the museum to do important things for today's world.